Well guys, it's that time again. The beta for the War Within is fully underway, and that means it is time to check out this new World of Warcraft expansion and see if it's worth a hoot. Just like I've done with almost every single World of Warcraft expansion since I started on YouTube, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop into the beta. I'm going to set a roughly 2-hour time limit. You'll see what I mean. And we're going to experience the beta, and we're going to talk about the good, the bad, things that were cool, things that were a little lackluster and whatnot, just give some feedback and to just showcase the beta and see what to expect with the War Within. Real fast, this video and the channel is sponsored by Zygor, linked down below in the description. If you are looking for World of Warcraft's ultimate guide add-on that can help you level faster or make more gold, get those achievements, those mounts, those pets, anything you want really, Zygor is the place to go. Check them out via the link in the description. And if you do decide to get Zygor at some point after checking out their free trial, feel free to use code Nixxiom for 20% off. So now, let us begin our adventure, shall we? It all began with me making a Blood Elf mage, because who doesn't like mages, right? I mean, fire, frost, arcane, mages are cool. And immediately, as soon as I logged in, Thrall began to tell me that something was going down in Silithus. There's some whispers plaguing the denizens of Azeroth, and we gotta figure out what's going on. I quickly set up the talents. Of course, I'm gonna be a frost mage, threw on some key bindings and stuff. And after answering Thrall's summon and talking to this NPC, I ended up on a beach next to the destroyed ruins of Dalaran. Now, how was Dalaran destroyed? I don't know. What destroyed it? We don't know. But the only thing that we know is there's a bunch of Nerubians attacking, so maybe the Nerubians somehow, shot down Dalaran with like magic spider webs or something. We'll have to figure that out at launch. Anyway, it's mages versus spiders, everybody, and we gotta help those mages. We also, of course, see that Thrall, Jaina, and Anduin are present on the beach, so you get to reconnect with these major lore characters if you are a fan of them. And you're pretty much just sent off across the beach to kill Nerubians, help some named NPCs you might recognize from previous expansions. Nothing really too crazy, but it is pretty cool just being dropped into a big battle. Eventually, though, I will admit that even though I was only like 10 minutes into the beta, I did encounter a bugged quest where you couldn't kill this giant elite Nerubian to save Bran Bronzebeard. Everyone just sat around for a while until this one guy showed up and he explained that you had to be in war mode to finish the quest. Is that true? I don't know, but gonna have to find out. Ain't nothing better to do. So being a mage, I was able to teleport right back to Orgrimmar, and after getting there, I quickly turned on war mode, went back to the teleportation NPC in the middle of the city, and I went back to the questing zone. And it actually turns out that the guy was right. For some reason, being in war mode allows you to finish this quest. Obviously that's a bug in the beta, so I'm sure that's going to be fixed in the future. So, whatever, just a small kind of delay on our timer, but I'm not going to count that against the time. So the big Anubarak ripoff, he runs away. There's a work in progress cutscene that plays, and now we finally get to meet the Earthen. This is the War Within's, new race that they're adding into the game. I mean, they're not new, they've been around for a long time, but we're finally getting to play as them. We're finally getting to learn more about their culture, sort of, or at least these Earthen in the world, and we finally get to meet them. They pretty much just say, hey, go check out our really cool city on the other side of the island. And we're like, okay. So I mounted up on this, electric griffin and decided to fly over there. And it took a very long time, I admit. For some reason, this, auto flying griffin was flying very slowly. Now, the reason why I chose the auto fly griffin to the town and not my usual mount is just because of the fact that I was trying to write down notes of what the experience has been so far. So I figured, just take an automatic flight path. You understand. The point is, damn, I was on that damn bird for so long, just like floating around, like going through these dumb hoops. But finally we made it to the city, and it turns out the city is under attack by Spider-Men. Now, before you panic, this attack is over in about 5 seconds because you're told to mount up on a Storm Griffin. You fly around, you drop some electric hammers on the bugs from above. It takes about 5 seconds and then it's over. That's it. That's the invasion. It's said, it's done with. A little feedback, but I feel like this part of the, introduction experience to the Earthen starting area could have been a little bit longer and like a little bit better than just, oh, throw some hammers and then, okay, we did it. We defeated the Nerubians. You know what I mean? Like a little anticlimactic, I guess, but who cares, right? We also learn that the Nerubians attacking the Earthen capital was all the plan of Zalatash. So, a little bit of them jailer vibes, like, dude, it was the jailer's plan, bro. Like, dude, the jailer planned Arthas to pick up Frostmourne, dude. dude, he planned for you to do that poop quest in Warlords of Draenor. Like, dude, it's genius. So a little bit of that going on, but that's okay. You know, still having fun. After the quest though, Thrall and Jaina just kind of leave and go back to the capital cities, and I, you know, am just told to go pick up debris here and there. I do so, and while I'm doing that, I discover the memory archive of a dead Earthen, which I then turn in, and I'm able to see his memories a moment later. Now I talked about this in my alpha impressions video, but the Earthen have very clearly been inspired by the Mechanicus and the Astartes and stuff from Warhammer 40k. You know, the Earthen are running around with these like mechanical arms and stuff, just like the Mechanicus in the Imperium. You know, we're talking about memory cores and whatnot that need to be like recovered and stuff, and yada yada yada. So, you know, it's a little bit of some nods to Warhammer 40k, and I'm not complaining. I mean, like, I'm currently, you know, painting this, you know, Grey Knight army over here, so, you know, this is not a complaint. Okay, you know, Blizzard is at their best when they're stealing ideas, as we all know. And now it's time to go and get some professions. This is actually pretty cool. One of the introduction quests, once you get to, you know, the city, is to go out and get yourself some professions, and at least know where the profession trainers are. So Blizzard clearly wants you getting involved with profession stuff in this expansion, and I like that. Now, this is just the beta, so I'm not going to do anything too serious, but I just grabbed tailoring for fun. Spoiler, I never actually use it at any point during this, like, you know, beta experience video. I never really got the chance, but, you know, tailoring and stuff, I like the fact that they're, you know, pushing you into some profession stuff. You're also told as you go out to find your job that you're going to be doing in the War Within to talk to a couple of NPCs. Now, I will say that the voice acting of the Earthen is a little monotone, and I understand that, like, Blizzard's trying to give the Earthen this kind of stony, stoic kind of sound as like a race. But, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to appreciate how every time you click on an Earthen, they say, "Conversation initiated. How can I help you, traveler?" That might be a minor con and a minor criticism, but a positive. Dude, look at the city and look at the landscape, man. This place looks absolutely gorgeous. And I spent just a couple of minutes just flying around and just kind of checking out the city, just looking at its nooks and crannies. It was cool. Now, I will admit, at the end of this quest, I was told to go and talk to the council of like the Earthen, and they went over like a bunch of lore and stuff, which I skipped over because I kind of want that, you know, sort of that fresh experience during actual launch of playing a character, getting immersed in the story, reading the quests and stuff. So I kind of intentionally was like, oh no, like, you know, like don't let me in too deep, like on the lore and the story of these guys right now anyway. Pretty much the story is that there's this thing called the Core Way, and we're looking for a way to help rebuild it. And that's pretty much it. Suddenly though, you are teleported to the top of this big ass building, and you're pretty much told to just fly off and fly towards this little town in the countryside. Love it. Think it's great. You know, utilize that dragon flying, man. Get us up in the air and soaring in the skies. It's cool. So we fly over to this little town, and while I'm there, I found this AFK evoker chilling out near a puddle. And, you know, naturally, it's an evoker, so, you know, you gotta kill it. You know, just disgusting, right? So I start attacking this AFK evoker, you know, completely honorable and cool. There's nothing wrong with, you know, killing an AFK evoker. And I would have succeeded in it too if it weren't for those meddling guards. So me being the hero that I am, after helping to kill this monstrosity, I go to save the villagers. Pretty much they tell us that, oh, hey, you need to go in this mine nearby, and there's some people trapped in there, and you gotta save them. Okay, cool. I walk over to this mine, and you know what? It's a delve, guys. Like, oh, there's a delve. Like, there's Bran Bronzebeard. Like, it's time to hop in and check out this new feature. Really cool. Love just the natural segue into it. It was awesome. You go inside, you're told that you need to rescue these, like, dwarven miners. You learn that you can't stand on the spider webs while you're in there, otherwise you're going to summon Nerubians, and you get this really cool, like, web slinging thing that makes you feel like Spider-Man. I proceeded down the delve, pretty much just following this mine cart that we're collecting all the rescued miners in, and I actually encountered, after I went around this one corner, those dudes from Hearthstone, you know, like the Explorer guy and the Murloc, Mr. Murgleton, and then Reno Jackson, I think his name is. I'm not like, you know, the biggest Hearthstone player, but you know, the guys from Hearthstone, they're like down in the delve, and it's like, oh, cool. And you fight them, and I got this epic item where, you know, it's like Reno's sack, and it just does random things like while you're fighting mobs. And that was going to be really cool. Like, I was really excited to check that out. But here's the problem. I had to go pick somebody up. So I paused the timer. I got in my car. I went and picked up someone, and I got home, sat down on the computer, logged in, and everything was gone. Yeah, there was a part of me that was tempted to just stop the, like, you know, the timer right then and be like, okay, well, you know, whatever, that was the beta experience. But that would have been like nothing. So I decided, you know what, we got to keep going. What I did is I made a new character. I made Nixxiom, the Blood Elf Death Knight. And I just said, okay, fine, we're gonna just start all over. This time though, instead of talking to the NPC right in front of me and going straight to like the new content, I actually was able to pursue the quest line that I mentioned earlier in the video, where Thrall is saying, hey, come to Silithus because something is going down. I just completely missed this the first time, so now we're going to Silithus. You know, and as I'm like walking around with Thrall and Jaina and Anduin, I couldn't help but think like, you know, Blizzard, you need to establish more new lore characters. You know, we always go back to this like same dozen or so lore characters like every single time. Like, you know, we need some returns of like old friends. You know, we need to establish some new friends, but that's just a minor criticism. I mean, who cares, right? So we're going underneath the Sword of Sargeras to go see Magni Bronzebeard to see what's going on, because, you know, he's the speaker of Azeroth, and Azeroth has been whispering to people. We go down there and we learn that Magni doesn't want anything to do with Azeroth anymore, seeing as how he feels that she has abandoned him and won't talk to him. So clearly Magni has like a thing for Azeroth, like a thing for her, and she ain't talking to him. She ain't returning his text messages, and that makes him really sad. So you talk to Magni for a bit and you're like, Magni, no, like you got to talk to her, like even though like she's ignoring you. And he's like, okay, fine, let's do this little ritual and we'll try to talk to her. You go, you start some consoles and stuff, and then I think there's like a missing cutscene or something, because after you activate these consoles, you're just told to go to Dalaran. Like nothing happens. So clearly something was supposed to happen there, but you know, Blizzard hasn't done it yet. So we'll see. Also, there's the fact that Magni is now like on the ground half dead. You know, you turn on the consoles and then it's like, oh no, Magni's almost dead. We got to get to Dalaran and save him. So clearly there's a cutscene missing. Anyway, we're going to Dalaran. We go around Dalaran, we collect some of his family members, and then we're told to go back to the Isle of Dorn by his family and continue the beta experience from there. This is just the same stuff again. You just teleport to the shore, you're fighting the Nerubians. Let's just fast forward back to that delve, shall we? One side note though, while I was on that quest that I mentioned earlier about picking up professions, I did go to the blacksmith area on this Death Knight. And while I was there, I saw this giant like anvil thing like coming, you know, down and up and stuff. And I wondered if you stood underneath it, if you would get killed. Well, it turns out, yes, not only will you get killed, you will get squashed into a blood puddle and you will get an achievement. So just letting you guys know if you're an achievement hunter, okay? So we're back in the delve. We're back in the action, man. We're rescuing earthen miners. There's spider webs everywhere. We're slinging around like Spider-Man, like, you know, shooting this web gun thing. It's awesome. Only this time, when I go around that same corner that I went around the first time, Reno Jackson and Mr. Murgalock or whatever is not there. Instead, there is this giant mechanical robot thing, which after you kill that, you get a special power-up, which allows you to periodically, while fighting a giant robot, will come and help you and fight and stuff, and it's cool. Everything, however, was the same. You know, the enemies were the same. The whole, like, you know, mission was the same. This is not surprising, though, because, you know, this is attached to a quest line. So, you know, I would assume that the delve would be mostly the same if it's attached to a specific quest. But I will say that the delve was pretty short. I got it done pretty fast. It's pretty straightforward. It didn't really take long to do it all. It takes a lot less time than you might think or might assume. I will say that the final boss is really neat, though. You know, he summons all these webs, and if you touch them, obviously Nerubians are probably going to spawn, so I didn't touch them. And he's flinging mine carts at you and stuff that explode. He was a lot of fun, and I could definitely see, you know, this boss getting periodically more and more powerful as the delves increase in power. As for the treasures that I got at the end, I pretty much just got some gold. I got a random flavor item that teleported me 6 yards forward. It's like a tiny blink. And I got a trinket that I didn't need since it was the same item level as the starting gear that the beta experience started me in. So after leaving the delve, I went back to the village. I got a couple of quests just telling me to go to the nearby mine, kill a bunch of stuff. And that's what I did for a little bit, you know, just killing mobs, picking stuff up, whatever. I even got to kill my first elite mob while I was out there, and I got a bracer upgrade from this monster, which was really cool. Like, hey, my first upgrade in the beta. Love that feeling, man. So after a bit of killing things, you know, I made my way back to the village. I helped heal some villagers, and then, dude, guys, lo and behold, I leveled up. Level 71, dude, and this means that I unlocked hero talents. I was given these two choices, and I decided to go Reaper because, you know, why not? Why not be a Reaper? And I got this new ability that apparently will put a mark on a target which will explode whenever you do enough frost or shadow damage to it before it spreads to a new target. I got a passive to improve this ability, and let's go check it out. Let's see if it's any good. Rather than continuing questing though and spoiling the story for myself, and the fact is I was running out of time at this point, I decided to go back into the same delve that I had already done because I wanted to see how the delve would change up itself from one playthrough to the next. I went back to it. I saw that I could do a tier 2 version of this delve now, so cool, a little bit more powerful and whatnot. I headed inside, and I will admit, complete honesty right now, that I was a bit disappointed because the delve was exactly the same as the first 2 times that I had done it. Even though there was no quest attached to it, the enemies were still the same, the mechanics were still the same. I go around that corner, there's Reno Jackson and like Dr. Myrmidon or whatever his name is. I get the same ability after I defeat them. Reno's magic nutsack or whatever the heck it was called. The delve was the exact same layout as the first 2 times. Again, though, everything is all in beta, so things are subject to change. I'll also say that the new hero talent ability wasn't really all that special. You pretty much just put this mark on the target. It does a little bit of extra damage that you don't really notice very much. And yeah, like it can spread to another target if like the target dies from the explosion that the ability causes once you get enough stacks on it, which personally I never actually saw happen. There wasn't anything flavorful about this ability, like when you put the mark on them, like a cursed symbol above their head or something. Like, I don't know. So that was a little disappointing too, if I'm completely honest. I did get to level up Bran Bronzebeard though in the delve, and that was cool, getting him some new abilities and stuff and getting to see him using those new abilities in the delve. That was like, I really liked that. So yeah, you can kind of see like with this playthrough, like, yes, there's cons, but yes, there's pros. And I hope that I'm being fair, but you guys can let me know down in the comment section. I think the whole leveling up of Bran Bronzebeard and stuff, like leveling up this companion of yours with new abilities and stuff, I think that's the best part of the delves. But again, I'll go into more detail about that in a different video. So yeah, I finished the delve for the second time, and this time I actually got a huge item upgrade, which is not surprising considering this is a tier 2 delve. And after that delve was over, my time limit was up. That was the end of my adventure. I had certainly exceeded my original 2-hour plan, but I was having fun, and I lost that first character, which is a shame. I really liked that mage. I was having fun playing them, but the Frost Death Knight was really cool too. So these are my final thoughts on the beta, having played it. I will say that the War Within, in this first impressions that I've had, it's a little bit meh. It's not bad, but it's not great either. It's kind of like bordering just right on that, like, it's okay kind of line. In terms of things that I really liked about it, I really liked Bran Bronzebeard and the whole delve system of leveling up the follower. I think that the new Earthen capital city is beautiful. At one point, I actually flew down into the coreway, and I flew down into like those underground zones, and flying through those like, halls that lead down into like the caverns and stuff. That was really cool. So like from like a design standpoint, like the environment and stuff, I thought was awesome. I also felt that the questing was really good, especially once I reached the little village in the countryside, because I noticed that, yeah, there was that main quest that I could do, helping out like the Earthen Council and stuff. But I saw there was a bunch of other quests that were popping up here, there, and everywhere, kind of like classic WoW, where it's like, you don't have to just do this. You can just go off the beaten path and go do other quests if you want to do that. And I saw that in this expansion. And that was, a little bit of a, breath of fresh air, I suppose, because, maybe you don't really care about the Earthen Council. Maybe you just want to go help like some dude grow turnips or whatever. And, so I like that, just being able to break up the linearness of the questing experience. I'll also say that although my first impressions with this delve in particular was, just doing it, well, I guess technically 2.5 times, 3-ish times, I can really see how the delve system can grow and evolve over time, especially as you do harder and harder versions of the delve and get better and better gear. So I'm really hopeful that the delve system continues to be improved upon, like all throughout the War Within and over the years in World of Warcraft, and it's not just like some abandoned feature down the road, because yeah, like delves, they were fun. There's just like some criticisms that I need to throw at them. In terms of things that I didn't like, I will say that the Isle of Dorn felt a little bit empty. Like when you're flying over it, it's like you got the city, there's nothing, there's the small village, there's nothing, and then there's like some stuff in the distance. So it felt a little bit empty, I admit, from an artistic standpoint. The voice acting of the Earthen was very monotone, very mute and stoic, and I wasn't like the biggest fan of that, but you know, whatever, it reflects their people, you know, their culture and stuff, you know, believing in the great stone machine and whatnot. So I understand. I didn't really like the fact that they reused Thrall, Jaina, and Anduin. I wish they maybe used some other characters, even like some, you know, characters that we haven't seen in a long time that some people might not even be aware of. I don't know. I just really feel like Blizzard should, you know, take the initiative with establishing some, you know, just new lore characters that we can bond over, that are not like faction leaders and not like, you know, the best shaman and the best priest and the best, you know, mage, best paladin, whatever of Azeroth. They're just normal people. Like, you know, I really like it when Blizzard uses those sorts of NPCs to tell their stories, but that's just me. So overall, like, my conclusion is just that it was kind of, you know, it was okay. Like, it wasn't bad, it wasn't great. You know, it seems like it's going to be just kind of your average new World of Warcraft level up experience with some delves thrown in, which, you know, obviously I only got to do this one delve, so I'm hoping that, you know, as time goes on, as you do more and more delves and you explore more, like, delves really become just a really fun part of the level up process. But we'll have to wait for official launch to actually see what that's like. But I don't know. You know, some of you guys watching this, you guys might even be in the beta or the alpha. Maybe you've leveled up way further than me. Maybe you've even gotten a character to cap or something, gotten to do like, you know, dungeons and PvP and all this stuff. What do you think of the War Within so far? And if you haven't played the War Within, genuine question, what do you think about it? Like, do you think it looks like a fun, cool, and awesome expansion? Or are you just kind of like, you know, maybe I'll stick to Season Discovery, or maybe I'll stick to Hardcore Classic, or I'll stick to, you know, Cataclysm or something? Like, what do you guys think as people that have not gotten to touch the War Within yet? Either way, that was my brief adventure into the beta, guys. I hope you enjoyed my little story, my great tale of my Blood Elf Mage and my Night Elf Death Knight. I will see you all at official launch. And of course, we'll be covering the expansion and how it goes here on the channel. So be sure to subscribe and be sure to check out the Nixxiom shirts down in the description link down below and get yourself a shirt. Thanks.